In the darkened cockpit of the Odyssey Horizon, Commander Elara Voss stared at the endless sprawl of the universe, an infinite expanse of starlight glimmering like distant jewels on a velvet canvas. Her crew, hand-picked from the United Earth Federation's elite, was silent as the ship plunged through the black void, hurtling toward the unknown. They were humanity's latest emissaries, voyaging to a region of the galaxy untouched by human presence, the Trion Expanse. The mission was simple in description, but daunting in scope. Chart a wormhole discovered near the Andromeda Galaxy, investigate signs of extraterrestrial activity in its vicinity, and return to Earth with findings that could reshape humanity's future. As she gazed into the abyss, Elara couldn't shake the ominous feeling that humanity's future rested on a precarious edge, balanced between discovery and annihilation. Humanity had dreamed of the stars for centuries, and by the mid-23 RD century, dreams had become reality. Faster than light travel, once a theoretical impossibility, had been achieved through the groundbreaking work of physicist Elias Kavrak, who had unlocked the secrets of stable wormholes. With this discovery, humanity expanded beyond its solar system, settling colonies on distant worlds. Yet, for all its progress, Earth remained haunted by a question as old as its first voyages into space. Are we alone? Decades of exploration had turned up evidence of microbial life, fossilized remnants of alien ecosystems, and enigmatic signals that suggested intelligence. But the kind of direct contact humanity had imagined the encounter that would answer the question definitively remained elusive. The Trion Expanse, with its anomalous energy readings and inexplicable distortions, offered humanity its most tantalizing clue yet. The Odyssey Horizon was dispatched to unlock its secrets. 2 weeks into their voyage, the crew made a discovery that turned their mission from exploratory to existential. As they approached the mouth of the wormhole, the ship's sensors detected an artificial structure floating in the void. The object, nearly 2 kilometers in length, was unlike anything they had ever seen. It shimmered with a metallic iridescence, its surface covered in intricate geometric patterns that seemed to shift and change under observation. "Scan it," Elara ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. Lieutenant Kyle Rivas, the ship's science officer, worked quickly at his console. No known materials match its composition. It's emitting low-frequency signals, but it's not transmitting in any recognizable language or code. "Is it alive?" asked Dr. Mirel Santero, the ship's xenobiologist, her voice tinged with awe and fear. Kyle shook his head. "No biological components detected. Whatever it is, it's machine-made." Crew debated their next move, but the decision was made for them. A beam of light, bright and unearthly, shot from the structure, enveloping the Odyssey Horizon in its glow. In an instant, the ship was transported into another region of space, a place where reality itself seemed to unravel. Elara's first sensation upon exiting the wormhole was disorientation. The stars were gone, replaced by a swirling miasma of color and shadow. The laws of physics seemed to bend and twist in this alien realm. Planets floated like bubbles, their surfaces rippling as though they were made of liquid. Fragments of structures, ancient and incomprehensible, drifted aimlessly. The crew worked feverishly to stabilize the ship, their panic barely contained. Kyle's voice cut through the chaos. "We're not in our universe anymore. This is something else entirely." Before anyone could respond, a voice filled the cockpit, not through the ship's speakers, but directly into their minds. It was neither male nor female, neither hostile nor welcoming. It was simply there. You have come far, but your kind is not ready. Alara felt a chill run down her spine. Who are you? She demanded. What is this place? The voice did not answer her directly. Instead, it projected images into the minds of the crew, visions of civilizations rising and falling, stars being born and collapsing into black holes, and alien beings, both wondrous and terrifying, traversing the cosmos. The message was clear. Humanity was a fledgling species, barely scratching the surface of the universe's vast and unknowable mysteries. As the crew grappled with the implications of their encounter, the ship's sensors detected another presence, a massive alien vessel, dwarfing the Odyssey horizon that seemed to materialize out of the liminal realm itself. The ship was unlike anything they had ever imagined, its design defying comprehension. It appeared to be alive, its surface pulsating with light and energy. The voice spoke again. You are here because your species is on the verge of great change. But change brings risk. Not all who seek the stars do so with pure intentions. The alien vessel began to transmit data directly to the Odyssey Horizon systems. Kyle analyzed the information, his face growing pale as he worked. It's a warning, he said finally. They're showing us civilizations that destroyed themselves after discovering faster than light travel. Civilizations that turned on each other or unleashed technologies they couldn't control. Alara's mind raced. And they're trying to prevent us from making the same mistakes? Maybe, Kyle replied. Or maybe they're testing us, seeing if we're worth saving. The crew spent what felt like days in the liminal realm, though the ship's chronometers suggested only hours had passed. The alien intelligence provided them with knowledge glimpses of advanced technologies, warnings of potential threats, and cryptic hints about the nature of the universe itself. But it offered no clear answers, leaving humanity's future in their hands. When the Odyssey Horizon was finally returned to its own universe, the crew found themselves orbiting Earth. They were hailed as heroes, their mission deemed a success. But the knowledge they carried was a burden as much as it was a gift. They had seen the potential for humanity's greatness and its destruction. The story of the Odyssey Horizon is a testament to the power of science fiction to explore humanity's place in the cosmos. It reminds us that the future is both a promise and a challenge, filled with opportunities for discovery, but also fraught with dangers. Sci-Fi shows us that the answers to humanity's greatest questions about life, the universe, and our own potential may lie not just in the stars, but in our ability to confront the unknown with courage, humility, and wisdom. As Alara Voss and her crew learned, the universe is vast and indifferent, but it is also filled with wonder. And while the journey may be perilous, it is one worth taking for the sake of understanding, survival, and the enduring quest for meaning. Though the Odyssey Horizon had returned home, the journey had left an indelible mark on its crew. They were no longer just explorers. They were now custodians of a profound and terrifying truth. In private meetings with the United Earth Federation's High Council, Alora and her crew shared the knowledge imparted by the alien intelligence, blueprints for technologies that could revolutionize energy production, space travel, and medicine, as well as warnings about the catastrophic potential of unchecked scientific advancement. The Council's reaction was one of cautious optimism, but Alora could see the gleam of ambition in their eyes, the hunger for power that humanity had never truly managed to suppress. She had hoped the alien warning would serve as a sobering reminder of the stakes involved in playing with forces beyond their comprehension. Instead, she feared it would become a blueprint for domination. As days turned into weeks, the world's leading scientists began working to decipher the alien data. The most immediate breakthrough came in the form of energy synthesis technology that could create clean, unlimited power. It was a gift that could end humanity's dependence on fossil fuels and usher in a new era of prosperity. Yet even this miracle carried a dark undertone. The alien data also hinted at the energy's destructive potential, capable of obliterating entire planets if misused. Alara retreated to her family's remote estate in the Scottish Highlands, seeking solace in the solitude of nature. She often found herself staring up at the night sky, the stars now more ominous than comforting. Her thoughts were plagued by the cryptic warnings of the alien voice and the images of civilizations that had risen and fallen long before humanity's first sparks of sentience. One evening, she received a surprise visit from Kyle Rivas. He had resigned from his position as the Federation's lead scientific advisor, disillusioned by the Council's growing secrecy. His arrival was unannounced, but his expression carried a weight of urgency. "They're hiding things, Alara," Kyle said as they sat by the fire. "The Council. They're not sharing all the data with the scientific community. Some of the alien files they contain information on weapons. Weapons that make our most advanced technology look like sticks and stones." Alara felt a chill creep up her spine. "They swore that everything would be made public." Kyle shook his head. "They're only releasing what benefits them. The rest is being classified under the highest levels of secrecy. And it gets worse. I've intercepted communications suggesting that private defense contractors are already being brought in to reverse engineer some of the alien tech. They're not thinking about the risks, Alara. They're thinking about who gets to control the galaxy first." Kyle's revelations confirmed Alara's worst fears. The warnings of the alien intelligence had not deterred humanity from its destructive tendencies. Instead, they had accelerated them. Nations began vying for access to the Federation's research, and alliances started to fracture under the strain of mistrust. Whispers of conflict grew louder with each passing day. The Odyssey Horizon's crew became symbols of the new age of discovery, but they also became targets. Conspiracy theorists accused them of fabricating the entire encounter, while extremist groups blamed them for unleashing technology that could destabilize the world. Alara's name was no longer spoken with reverence. It was uttered with suspicion and disdain. Amid the growing chaos, Alara received another unexpected visit, this time from Dr. Mirel Santero, the xenobiologist who had been part of the original mission. Mirel had been studying the alien data in secret, focusing on the more esoteric aspects of the liminal realm they had traversed. "There's something I didn't tell the Council," Mirel admitted, her voice trembling. "When we were in the liminal realm, I saw shadows. Shapes moving in the distance. I thought they were figments of my imagination, but now I'm not so sure. The alien data it contains references to entities that exist beyond our understanding. Beings that watch, that wait." Alara's heart sank. "You think they're still watching us?" Muriel nodded. "And I think they're testing us. If we misuse the knowledge they've given us, I don't think they'll let us continue existing." Tensions on Earth reached a boiling point when an experimental energy reactor, built using the alien technology, malfunctioned during a demonstration in orbit. The resulting explosion obliterated a research station and caused a catastrophic chain reaction that destroyed a nearby colony on Europa. The loss of life was staggering, and the incident was quickly blamed on sabotage, a claim that only deepened the divisions between Earth's factions. Alara, Kyle, and Muriel knew the truth. Humanity was hurtling toward its own destruction, just as the alien intelligence had warned. Desperate to prevent further catastrophe, they decided to take a drastic step. With the help of sympathetic allies, they stole the Odyssey horizon and set course for the Trion Expanse. Their goal was audacious: to contact the alien intelligence once more and plead for guidance or intervention. They knew the risks. The alien beings might view their actions as another sign of humanity's unworthiness. But they also knew that doing nothing would guarantee disaster. As the Odyssey horizon entered the liminal realm again, the crew braced themselves for the unknown. The swirling miasma of color and shadow greeted them once more, and the voice returned. "You return, despite the warnings." Alara stepped forward, her voice firm but respectful. "We failed to heed your warnings. Humanity is fracturing under the weight of the knowledge you've given us. We ask for your help, your guidance." There was a long silence, during which the crew felt the weight of the alien presence bearing down on them. Finally, the voice spoke again. "Guidance is not given. It is earned. Your kind stands at the precipice. You will either rise or fall. But know this: if you fall, others will rise in your place. The universe is vast, and it does not mourn." Before Alara could respond, the ship was thrust back into its own universe, emerging near Earth. The message was clear: humanity's fate was in its own hands. The crew of the Odyssey horizon returned to a world on the brink, armed with the knowledge that their species was being watched and judged. Alara took to the airwaves, breaking the Federation's silence and revealing the full scope of the alien warnings. Her words sparked both hope and fear, igniting a global debate about humanity's future. In the years that followed, the alien encounter became a catalyst for profound change. Some nations chose cooperation over competition, pooling their resources to build a better future. Others clung to their old ways, their ambition driving them ever closer to destruction. The fate of humanity remained uncertain, a delicate balance between enlightenment and annihilation. And in the depths of the Trion Expanse, the alien intelligence watched, waiting to see which path humanity would choose. Years passed, and the events surrounding the Odyssey horizon became legend, woven into the fabric of human culture. Yet the shadow of the alien encounter loomed large over Earth and its colonies. The technologies reverse-engineered from the alien data transformed society, but not without cost. Unlimited energy brought prosperity to many, but it also became a tool of power for the few. Starship fleets, powered by alien-derived energy cores, now patrolled the known galaxy, projecting influence in ways that mirrored humanity's most troubling pasts. Alara Voss, now considered both a hero and a traitor depending on whom you asked, had vanished from public life. After her broadcast exposed the alien warnings and the Federation's secrecy, she became a polarizing figure. Some revered her as a visionary who forced humanity to confront its flaws. Others labeled her a destabilizing force, responsible for revealing truths that humanity wasn't ready to face. In reality, she had retreated to an undisclosed location deep within Earth's wilderness, far from the noise of politics and power struggles. Her quiet exile was broken only by occasional visits from Kyle Rivas and Mirel Santero, both of whom had taken up positions in underground movements dedicated to promoting cooperation and transparency. Together, they worked in secret to create a fail-safe and encoded signal that could be sent to the alien intelligence should humanity teeter too close to the brink. "Do you think they'll intervene if it comes to that?" Mirel asked one evening, her voice heavy with doubt. Alara stared into the fire they had built under the vast night sky. I don't know. Maybe they've already decided we're not worth saving. But if they are watching, I want them to know that someone tried. By the end of the 23 RD century, humanity's expansion into space had reached an unprecedented scale. Dozens of colonies dotted nearby star systems, each governed by factions that had splintered from the once unified United Earth Federation. The colonies were as diverse as the people who inhabited them. Some were utopian havens, embracing ideals of cooperation and sustainability, while others were militarized strongholds, ruled by authoritarian regimes bent on control. The divisions between Earth and its colonies grew sharper, and whispers of rebellion spread like wildfire. The colonists, tired of being treated as second-class citizens by Earth's ruling powers, began to organize under a unified banner, the Free Systems Alliance. The Federation responded by ramping up its military presence, deploying fleets armed with weapons derived from alien blueprints. The galaxy stood on the precipice of a new kind of war, one that could reshape humanity's destiny or extinguish it altogether. In this volatile environment, rumors began to circulate of strange sightings near the Trion Expanse. Colony miners reported mysterious lights moving through space far beyond any known patrol routes. Long-range probes sent to investigate disappeared without a trace. These anomalies rekindled fears of the alien intelligence and its ominous warnings. The breaking point came when a rogue faction within the Federation activated a prototype weapon designed using alien technology. Dubbed a Stellar Annihilator, the weapon unleashed a surge of energy that destroyed an entire colony world in an instant. Officially, the Federation called it a tragic accident, a test gone wrong. But the Free Systems Alliance knew better. To them, it was an act of war. The Alliance retaliated by targeting the Federation's shipyards, sparking a conflict that spread across the stars. Entire systems were consumed in the flames of battle, and the chaos threatened to spiral out of control. Amid the growing destruction, Alara, Kyle, and Muriel realized the time had come to act. Activating their failsafe, they sent a distress signal to the Trion Expanse, a desperate plea for intervention. They knew the aliens' response could go one of two ways: a lifeline to pull humanity back from the brink, or a final judgment that would erase their existence entirely. Weeks passed with no response. The war raged on, its toll mounting with every passing day. Then, without warning, the skies above Earth were filled with light. Alien vessels, vast, incomprehensibly advanced, and beautiful in their strangeness, emerged from rifts in space. Each ship was a monument to the unknowable, their forms shifting and shimmering as though existing in multiple dimensions at once. Panic gripped the planet as the vessels positioned themselves over Earth's major cities. Similar reports flooded in from colonies across the galaxy. Humanity had always imagined that an alien invasion would come with fire and fury, but the arrival of the Watchers was eerily silent. Their presence alone was enough to paralyze the warring factions, forcing a temporary ceasefire. A message was broadcast simultaneously to every human mind. It was not spoken in words, but in visions and emotions, a tidal wave of understanding that left no room for misinterpretation. You have squandered the gift you were given. Your kind stands on the edge of extinction, not by our hand, but by your own. We will not intervene to save you, but we will ensure that your destruction does not spread beyond your world. The meaning was clear. Humanity's conflict would be contained. If they destroyed themselves, the Watchers would ensure their flames did not consume the galaxy. In the aftermath of the Watchers' arrival, the war came to an uneasy halt. Leaders from Earth and the colonies convened in what would become known as the Soul Accord Summit. For the first time in decades, representatives from every faction sat at the same table, forced to confront the consequences of their actions. The Watcher's ships remained in orbit, a silent reminder of the stakes. Alara Voss was brought to the summit as an advisor, her voice carrying the weight of her experience. Standing before the assembly, she delivered a final plea. "We've been given one last chance," she said, her voice steady but impassioned. "The Watchers won't save us. No one will. If we want a future, we have to choose it for ourselves. We can continue down this path, tearing each other apart, or we can learn to rise above it." Her words sparked a fierce debate. Some argued for disarmament and cooperation, while others claimed the Watcher's presence was a threat that needed to be neutralized. The summit stretched on for weeks, and it was clear that humanity's divisions ran deep. In the end, a fragile agreement was reached. The Soul Accord established new protocols for the use of alien-derived technology, placing strict limits on its application and mandating transparency across all factions. A galactic council was formed to mediate disputes and ensure compliance, a first step toward unity in the face of extinction. The Watchers, true to their word, did not interfere. They remained in orbit for several months before disappearing as suddenly as they had arrived. Whether they were satisfied with humanity's response or simply indifferent, no one could say. Alara Voss returned to her quiet life, her role in history complete. Yet she couldn't shake the feeling that humanity's story was far from over. The Watchers had given them a reprieve, but the future remained uncertain, a fragile hope in a galaxy filled with infinite possibilities. As she gazed at the stars, one final time, she whispered a silent prayer not to any god, but to the universe itself. A prayer that humanity would prove itself worthy of the second chance it had been given. Decades passed, and the events of the Odyssey Horizon and the Watcher's intervention became both history and myth. Humanity, though scarred by its near destruction, began to rebuild with a newfound sense of cautious purpose. The Soul Accord held, albeit tenuously, as rival factions worked uneasily together under the watchful memory of the silent alien vessels. Starship fleets that once carried weapons were repurposed for exploration, and colonies once fortified as war zones became centers of research and diplomacy. Still, the memory of the Watchers haunted humanity. For every individual inspired by their presence, there were those who resented their judgment, viewing them as oppressors who loomed over humanity's autonomy. Conspiracy theories flourished, whispers that the Watchers had planted spies among humans, or that their departure was only a ruse, and they were observing from the shadows. Governments leveraged these fears to consolidate control, while rebel groups stoked them to fan flames of resistance. Yet even as humanity stumbled forward, another mystery emerged, one that would set the galaxy on edge again. It began with a faint, pulsing signal originating from the Trion expanse, first detected by a research station on the edge of Federation space. At first, it seemed like an echo, perhaps a remnant of the Watcher's interference, but as the signal was analyzed, its true nature became clear. It was a pattern, deliberate, intricate, and encoded with layers of complexity far beyond human comprehension. The signal carried fragments of imagery and sound, though both defied logical interpretation. Planets with shifting skies, structures that seemed to grow and decay in the span of seconds, and, most unsettling of all, a recurring symbol, an Ouroboros, a serpent devouring its own tail, etched into the fabric of the message like a warning or a promise. Dr. Mirel Santero, now a leading voice in xenobiological research, was among the first to study the signal. Her findings shocked the scientific community. The signal wasn't just a broadcast. It was an invitation. "They're calling us back," Mirel told Kyle Rivas during a private holo conference. "But why? We barely survived their last warning. What could they possibly want now?" Kyle, now a grizzled diplomat with deep ties to the Free Systems Alliance, looked uneasy. "I don't think it's them, Mirel. The Watchers don't send invitations. They judge, they observe, but they don't call. This is something else." Mirel frowned. "Then who? And why use their symbol?" Kyle hesitated, then leaned closer to the camera. What if the Watchers weren't the only ones out there? The discovery of the Trion signal fractured the already fragile Galactic Council. Some argued that humanity should heed the call, sending an envoy to the Expanse to investigate. Others warned against it, citing the risk of provoking whatever entity had sent the signal. Elora Voss, now an elder stateswoman reluctantly drawn out of her self-imposed isolation, was brought into the debate. Her voice carried tremendous weight, for she had been the first to stand before the Watchers and survive their judgment. "They warned us about the dangers of unchecked ambition," Elara said during the Council's emergency summit. "But they also showed us that the universe is vast, and we are not its only players. If we ignore this signal, we risk letting another power emerge in the shadows, one we may not be prepared to face." Her words swayed the Council, and it was decided that a single ship, the newly christened Odyssey Ascendant, would be sent to investigate the Trion signal. The mission was to be one of caution, with strict protocols to avoid any aggressive actions. Elara, against her better judgment, agreed to lead the mission, alongside a new generation of explorers and scientists. The Odyssey Ascendant was the pinnacle of human engineering, its systems powered by refined versions of the alien-derived energy cores. Unlike the original Odyssey Horizon, this ship was designed for prolonged journeys through unknown space, equipped with advanced shielding and an AI co-pilot named Alethea, programmed to assist in first contact scenarios. As the ship approached the Trion Expanse, the crew grew uneasy. The anomalies that had marked the region decades ago had grown more pronounced. Space itself seemed unstable, with light bending and distorting in impossible ways. Alethea reported erratic sensor readings, pockets of gravity where none should exist, and faint energy signatures that flickered in and out of existence. Then they saw it. At the heart of the Expanse, a structure loomed. It was larger than the Watchers' vessels, its surface a chaotic dance of shifting geometry. Unlike the Watchers' pristine symmetry, this structure felt wrong. Its edges seemed to fray into nothingness, and it emitted a low hum that resonated in the bones of every crew member. Elara stood at the ship's observation deck, her heart pounding. "Is that alive?" she asked, almost to herself. "Unknown," Alethea replied, "but its energy readings are off the charts. No known physics can explain its output." The Trion signal grew louder as they approached, and the crew realized it was coming directly from the structure. Then, without warning, the ship's systems shut down, and a voice filled the air, not like the Watcher's voice, but something colder, sharper, and far more ancient. "You are not the first. You will not be the last." Images flooded the minds of the crew, visions of a galaxy older than they had imagined, ruled by an ancient species that had risen to godlike power. This species, known only as the Ashari, had sought to control the fundamental forces of reality itself. But their ambition had doomed them, and they had torn themselves apart in a cataclysm that echoed across the eons. The structure before them was their legacy, a gateway to dimensions beyond comprehension, left to drift in the Trion expanse. It had been sending its signal for millennia, calling out to those foolish or brave enough to approach. Elora realized the truth. The Watchers had not created this gateway. They had been its custodians, ensuring that its power was never unleashed again. And now, humanity had stumbled upon it, drawn by its call like moths to a flame. "Turn back," the voice intoned, harsher now. "This is not for you. It will never be for you." But it was too late. The gateway began to activate, its chaotic energy surging outward. Alethea's voice cut through the chaos. Energy buildup is destabilizing the region. If it goes critical, it could destroy this entire sector. Alara made a snap decision. We need to shut it down, now. As the crew worked frantically to disable the gateway, they discovered a failsafe embedded in the structure likely placed there by the Watchers. Activating it would collapse the gateway, but it would also destroy the Odyssey Ascendant and everyone aboard. Elora faced her crew, knowing what she had to ask. "This isn't just about us. If we don't stop this, we're condemning the galaxy." Kyle, now the ship's science officer, stepped forward. "We knew the risks when we came here. Let's make it count." One by one, the crew nodded. Together, they activated the failsafe. The Odyssey Ascendant and its crew were lost, their sacrifice ensuring that the gateway would never threaten the galaxy again. The Trion expanse fell silent, its anomalies fading as the structure collapsed into nothingness. On Earth, the news of their sacrifice united humanity in grief and in hope. The story of the Odyssey Ascendant became a rallying cry for cooperation, a reminder of the fragility and resilience of the human spirit. And in the depths of space, the Watchers observed, their judgment withheld. For now,